My mother had a phrase.
She said it so many times that I stopped listening. And the day I finally understood what she meant, I was sitting in a job I hated, doing work I didn't believe in, wondering how I got there. This is the final chapter of her story, and in some ways, it's the most important one. Because everything we've talked about in the last 3 videos, the $22 weekly budget, the farming family that moved to a city where they knew no one, the notebook, the jar, the discipline, all of it was building toward this. One idea, one phrase, one belief she carried her entire life and tried with everything she had to pass on to me. Today, I'm going to tell you what it was, and I'm going to show you why, for single parents especially, it might be the most valuable financial lesson of all. Stay with me.
She said it in the kitchen. She said it on the way to school. She said it when I complained about homework, when I didn't want to study, when I thought I already knew enough. Lo que amas hacer, lo haces por gusto. Pero si por hacer lo que amas, además te pagan, eso es doble satisfacción. That means what you love to do, you do for free. But if someone pays you for what you love, that's twice the reward. I heard it so many times it became background noise. The way children tune out the things their parents repeat most, precisely because they repeat them most. She never pushed me toward a specific career. She never told me what to study or what to become. She only ever asked me one question, in different ways, over and over again. What do you love doing so much that you do it even if no one was watching? At the time, I thought it was just something mothers say. Encouragement. The kind of thing you hear and forget. But she meant it as financial advice. It took me years to understand that. Because here's what she understood. Without any economics degree, without any business education, that most people spend their entire lives never figuring out. It's coming up right now. And once you see it, you can't unsee it.
She worked at a grocery store. She started in the cleaning crew, as I told you before. But she didn't stay there. Over years, slowly, without rushing, she learned. She watched how the store operated. She asked questions. She paid attention to things that weren't her job yet. And eventually, she moved up. Not dramatically, not into management, but into something better than where she started. She did that not because she was ambitious in the traditional sense. She did it because she was curious, because she found something in that work, the organization, the rhythm of it, the people, that she genuinely didn't mind showing up for. And that made all the difference. Here's the financial principle she was living without knowing its name. Human capital. Human capital is the value of your skills, your knowledge, your experience, everything you carry inside you that the market is willing to pay for. And unlike money in a bank account, human capital cannot be taken from you. It cannot be lost in a market crash. It cannot be stolen. It grows every time you learn something, every time you get better at what you do, every time you show up, pay attention, and invest in yourself.
For a single parent with limited financial capital, limited savings, limited income, limited margin, human capital is the highest return investment available, bar none. My mother understood this. She just called it something different. She called it doing what you love. Because when you love what you do, you get better at it without being forced to. You stay curious, you improve naturally, and the market, eventually, reliably, rewards people who are genuinely good at what they do. She wasn't trying to get rich. She was trying to build something sustainable, something that would last. And she understood
intuitively, that the most sustainable income is the one that comes from work you don't resent. That's not just life advice. That's financial strategy.
But there's a second part to what she taught me. The part about education. Not school specifically. Something bigger than that. Something that applies whether you have a degree or not, whether you finished high school or not, whether you're starting over at 20 or at 45. That's coming up right after this. She only finished elementary school. That was the education life gave her, and she never had the chance to go further. But she never stopped learning. Not once. She learned to sew because we couldn't afford new clothes. She learned to budget because her father taught her and she paid attention. She learned the grocery store because she showed up every day and watched and asked questions. And she sent me to school with a conviction that went beyond grades or diplomas. She used to say, "The education is yours. No one can take it. You can lose money, you can lose a job, you can lose a home. But what you learn, that stays." That's a profound financial truth, dressed in simple language.
Every dollar invested in learning a skill, whether in a school, a trade, a course, a book, or simply by paying close attention to someone who knows more than you, has a return that compounds over time. Not like a stock, not like a savings account, like a skill that opens doors, generates income, and grows in value the more you use it. For single parents especially, this matters enormously because your time is the scarcest resource you have. And the way you invest that time, in learning, in improving, in building skills that the market values, determines your financial ceiling more than almost anything else. She couldn't give me inherited wealth. She couldn't give me connections or a prestigious last name. But she gave me a belief so deep it became part of how I see the world. That learning is earning. That curiosity is capital. That the most reliable path to financial stability is becoming someone who is genuinely good at something that genuinely matters to them. And she said it so many times, in so many kitchens, on so many walks to school, that I stopped hearing it.
Until the day I was sitting in a job I hated, doing work I didn't believe in, and I finally understood exactly what she had been trying to tell me all along. She came from a farm with 9 brothers and sisters and arrived in a city where she knew no one. She became a single mother at 20 with no savings, no plan, and no safety net. She started in the cleaning crew of a grocery store and built a life, a real, stable, dignified life, from a paycheck that most people would have considered impossible to live on. She did it with a notebook, a jar on the countertop, a weekly budget of $22, a needle and thread, and a rule about debt that no bank ever taught her. And through all of it, through every tight month and every unexpected expense and every night at that kitchen table, she repeated the same phrase over and over to a boy who was too young to understand and too familiar with the words to really hear them. What you love to do, you do for free. But if someone pays you for what you love, that's twice the reward. She wasn't just talking about careers. She was talking about a life where the work doesn't drain you, where the money follows the meaning, where what you spend your hours doing is something you choose even if no one was watching. She never had that luxury herself. The grocery store was what was available, what fit her education, her situation, her moment.
But she made sure I understood that I could have it. That the whole point of the budget and the savings and the discipline wasn't just to survive. It was to build enough stability that one day I could choose. That's what she was really saving for. Not a number in a bank account. The freedom for her son to choose. This is the end of her story. Or at least the part of it I know how to tell right now. If you've been here since the first video, thank you. Genuinely. You've spent time with something that matters deeply to me. And I hope it's given you something that matters to you too. If this is your first video, go back to the beginning. Start with video 1. Her story is better from the start. Subscribe if you want to stay. Because next video, we start something new. A different kind of story. A different kind of lesson. But the same belief that runs through everything on this channel. That single parents who build something stable aren't lucky. They're just paying attention to the right things. Leave a comment below. What's the phrase your parent repeated so many times you stopped hearing it? I want to know. Because I have a feeling a lot of us are carrying the same words and only now starting to understand them. I'll see you next video.